Good evening. Welcome to the MU review. What did I say? What did I say yesterday when I did my delayed review of the Wolfsburg match? I said Manchester United, in their history, have never been more susceptible to getting stuffed and completely outplayed by Bournemouth than we were today. And that's exactly what happened. Something like 8 or 9 first team regulars out injured. That's no excuse. I mean, it's Van Gaal's own fault for, letting so many players go in the summer that really would have probably helped us in this kind of situation. But full credit to Bournemouth, they've got an injury list, just as long as ours, and there's a, very long layoffs there for Callum Wilson and Max Grador and what's his face, Tyrone Mings as well. So I mean, we really can't use our injuries as an excuse because Bournemouth are the poster boys of injuries screwing their season, but they're managing to do all right. They're above Chelsea now, and I don't know where to begin with this game. It's probably the most depressing 90 minutes of football I've watched. And I watched the full 95 minutes of the 6-1 against Man City. At least that was, entertaining in the sense that we were going for it. Yeah, it ended poorly. We conceded 3 goals in the last 5 minutes and really not a good day for us that day. But at least we had some fight. We scored a goal. We played, we tried. The reason we conceded those extra 3 goals is because we were going for it. And today, I've never seen a Manchester United team with less quality in it than this one. It's really alarming. I mean, we should not be this paper thin as a squad, and I put the onus of this on Louis van Gaal for the decisions he made in the transfer market. I think he had a bad window, ultimately. Yeah, it was good that he brought in Schneiderlin, Schweinsteiger, Darmian, Martial, players like that, Memphis Depay, and he brought a lot of them in early with the exception of Martial. But he didn't do anything after that, and he let so many players go. He let James Wilson go. He let Januzaj go on loan. They went on loan. Nani went. Hernandez went. Van Persie went. Those are the types of players. I know that they're not first team caliber, but just because you're not first team caliber doesn't mean you don't have a place in the squad. And I think that's something that Van Gaal kind of didn't consider over the summer, is that he sort of thought, okay, well, we've got this batch of youth players, we've got our first team regulars, and then we've got this chunk in the middle, and he just sort of cleaned out everybody in that middle chunk. And we're really paying for it now because, I mean, who knows how long some of these players are going to be out for. Rojo's going to be out for a month probably. Smalling, still no news. Darmian, no news. And our defence was absolutely lost at sea today without Chris Smalling. We need him back ASAP. ASAP. I don't want to do this video, I'm not going to be honest, but I'm going to be honest, but I feel like I need to get it out of my system, so I'm going to carry on about it. We were completely outclassed today by a newly promoted team. The team that won the championship last year just outclassed us, And it wasn't just the ability, the quality of their players. It was the desire, it was the fight, it was the passion. They had the crowd behind them. They were all up for it. And at no point during that game, we conceded a goal from a corner, I can't really blame De Gea for that. It was a bit of a fluke of the weather that went in, but conceding a goal from the corner in like the second minute, as exact opposite start to what you want. And from that moment, you just didn't see us winning the game. You thought we might nick a point, especially when Fellaini, scrambled in that goal. But God, that second half was as dire as I've seen us this season. I've seen us, control possession and draw 0-0 and be frustrated. But today we didn't even look like equalising. As soon as Bournemouth got their second goal, which also was off a poorly, marked set piece, they could have won 3 or 4 or 5-1. It was really, really embarrassing. And it's really worrying for a United fan. How can we talk about, seriously talk about contending for the title if we're losing to Bournemouth, and not only losing, but like losing, convincingly to Bournemouth? I know that we've got injuries. I know that it's a bit of a rough patch, that, players are probably tired and whatnot, but I know we had a bunch of youngsters in the team, but there was just no fight, there was no passion, there was no fire. The only player who looked like he really wanted to go at the other team was Jesse Lingard, and of course he got injured, just like everybody else. Juan Mata was anonymous. We tried to put so much pressure on Anthony Martial, and he's too young to really carry that on his shoulders. I thought Fellaini was probably our best player today, and if Fellaini's your best player, you probably don't even belong in the top half, let alone, battling for the title or top 4 places. The problem here is, I know we're still at, a relatively early stage in the season. We haven't hit the halfway mark yet, but, by New Year's Day, we're going to know where we're at. We'll be halfway through the season, we'll have played everybody. And at this rate, we're probably not even going to be in the top 4 at the end of the weekend. Spurs will probably tonk Newcastle tomorrow. And if that happens, we're in 5th, and, Liverpool are breathing down our necks, along with Crystal Palace and Watford, and that's not the company we need to be in. Really, really worrying. all I guess I can say on the positive end is that, we do have players to come back. Jones made his return from injury off the bench, 91st minute. Great, injury time substitution, Van Gaal, top notch. Phil Jones to save the day. So hopefully he'll, fit right back in. And you've got players like Schneidlin also coming back. And, we've got a week. We don't have anything midweek. So hopefully we can clear our decks of the injuries, get Smalling back, get a couple of players back. I thought Borthwick Jackson looked a bit off the pace today. I mean, he's 18 years old. I'm not gonna muller the kid. I thought he played really well against Wolfsburg. I just don't think he's ready to start games yet. He looked tired, in like the 60th, 70th minute, and he was getting outpaced. And so that's an area of his game he needs to work on. But in general, I thought the youngsters did well. I'm not going to put the blame of this on the youngsters. I'm going to put it again on players like Michael Carrick or players like Marouane Fellaini. I can't even. Memphis Depay was completely anonymous. These are the players we need to step up to the plate. And, we should have it. Ultimately, you can't blame anybody for the fact that we don't have anybody other than youngsters to come off the bench than Louis van Gaal. The fact of the matter is, he let Nani go, he let Van Persie go, he let Hernandez go, he let a handful of others go out on loan. And those are the players that would get opportunities in situations like this. And I just think it's extremely silly of Louis van Gaal, a manager of his experience, to not account for the fact that we could get a slate of injuries like this. And I've been highlighting this as a problem all season. We have no strength and quality and depth in our team. You look at a team like Man City. If they don't have, Aguero has been out, off and on all season, but they've got Wilfried Bonny to come on and bag some goals. He scored today. They might have David Silva go out with an injury. It's all right. We've got Kevin De Bruyne, Raheem Sterling. They've got so much quality in that team. And I'm not saying I want United to adopt the approach of City and just go buy players for fun and just sit them on the bench, but we can't have our second choice left back. I mean, I know Luke Shaw is out. I know that Luke Shaw's out. I know he's our first choice. But we can't have our, second choice left back in this situation be Cameron Borthwick Jackson. He should be fourth in the list. We should have Shaw, obviously, ideally, then Rojo, and then we should have a third centre left back, and then Borthwick Jackson. I'm really lost for words here. We have a poor squad. Ultimately, I think we have a decent starting 11, and if we can stay relatively injury free once all these players come back and can hit form, then sky's the limit. I still don't think that we're out of the title race. I don't think that we need to sack Van Gaal. I don't think we're a million miles away from where we need to be. But that team that was playing today was just a shadow of a Manchester United team. I mean, that was a shadow of a Manchester United team, because people have been talking about how our first choice 11 is the shadow of a Manchester United team. So that was a shadow of even that. But yeah, my man of the match is Marouane Fellaini, and I think that speaks for itself. If Marouane Fellaini is my man of the match, there's something wrong. I thought he showed decent, positioning and fight and passion. He got that goal, he got the ball over the line, he kind of dragged us through there. I can't for the life of me understand why Van Gaal took him off. We must have put 10 crosses into the box in that last 15 minutes after Fellaini went off, and we probably put 5 in, for the entire 75 minutes he was on the pitch. I don't understand what he's trying to do here, Van Gaal. I don't get his decision making, and he never gets up. He always just sits on the bench with his clipboard, and he sends Giggsy and he sends his, coaches to calmly, tell the players what they're doing. That's just not leadership. That's dictatorship, and you're not gonna. I like Van Gaal. I've supported Van Gaal. I think he's taking the club in the right direction, but sometimes I just think I want to know what's going on in his head. I want to know why he makes these kinds of decisions. And I know he doesn't owe it to us to explain himself, but when we're losing games, to Bournemouth, I think he does owe it to us at that point, If he's winning, and we're not playing well and he's making these decisions, if he's bringing Fellaini on in the 70th minute for Mata and you're like, oh, what's he doing? And then Fellaini scores, he doesn't have to explain that. Makes itself, point makes itself. But in a situation where, Fellaini's been our best player and our biggest goal threat for the entire game, and, he's not injured, he doesn't look like he's, showing too much signs of tiring, you decide to put Nick Powell on. And again, with the Nick Powell thing, since when was he, a part of our squad? I mean, I'm not nothing against him, he seems like a decent, promising young footballer, but I haven't seen him do anything. I didn't see him touch the ball. For 15 minutes after he came on. Those aren't the types of players we need to be bringing off the bench. We need to bring players off the bench who will get at the opposition and really make that effort to just, play for the shirt, and I just don't see it. And you should be seeing it, from the youngsters who have been with United for, however long, some of them have been here 10 years, like Jesse Lingard. But, I've had enough talking about it. It's not been the best of days in that regard, all I can say is that we've got Norwich at home next week. That is a very, very winnable game. If we can get a few players back in the team, if we can get some players back from injury, like Herrera and Schneidlins, just give us some stability and some confidence, then we can really do something, because the team we've got is capable of winning this league title, is capable of finishing the top three, definitely, maybe even winning the league title. You know, the game that we played at Goodison Park against Everton is the best I've seen us play this season. And if we can produce that level consistently, there's not a team in England that we can't beat on our day. And we just need to get ourselves back to those levels. And this is the time of the year. This is crunch time. This is Christmas. This is when Ferguson teams would make their case for being champions. This is where we'd win the league in, years gone by, over Christmas. When other teams were faltering, we would step up and consistently deliver points. And at this rate, we're going to fall behind based on our Christmas period. And it's not a tough set of fixtures. At least, Bournemouth away, followed by Norwich at home doesn't sound tough. But then after that, we've got to go to the Britannia on Boxing Day. And then we've got to host Chelsea the Monday after that. And I know Chelsea haven't been brilliant this year, but do you really think Jose Mourinho's team is going to come to Old Trafford and roll over against us? No. And I think we will judge it on New Year's Day. 4 matches from now, or 3 matches from now, however many, then we'll be halfway through the season, and we can look at it and we can assess, and we can go into the January transfer window and hopefully invest, or maybe bring Januzaj back from loan. I would love it if Van Gaal went to Dortmund, got Januzaj to come back, and bring Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang with him. That would be a fantastic Christmas present. Ed Wood would get on that. Anyway, if you've enjoyed the video, do the usual stuff. I'll see you next time.